Yo. What's up? What's the word? What's the deal? What's the deal? Make sure that like when y'all come up in here. Already. What's good? What's good? Make sure that like when you come up in here. Let some of y'all come up in here real quick before we get started. Already. What's up? Hey, 500. First time all year, huh? We gonna talk about it. We gonna talk about it, man. We gonna talk about it. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Let me let some of y'all come up in here real quick and we gonna get started. Make sure hitting that like button though, man. Come on, you got the dub. You gotta hit the like button. You gotta hit the like button. You got the dub, man. You gotta hit the like button. I know you like it. You like it. You gotta hit the like button, man. Already. Already. What's up, YouTube? Your boy back once again with another sports topic. And here to talk some football. Houston Texans football. You already know what it is. The Houston Texans go inside Nashville and get the win in completing the season sweep against the Tennessee Titans. Win the game 16-13. And with somebody, I seen some people already say it, I said it too. It was ugly victory. I ain't gonna lie. Unless I would normally, this is why I say unless you are a Texan fan or a Titan fan, you probably didn't care about the game or you probably wouldn't watch the game. Even as a Texan fan, man, that was one of the most boring games I've ever watched. I ain't gonna lie to you. And the Texans have had a lot of boring games over the years, um, under Davis Mills and the Brock Osweiler era, and like and the game, and the thing is, a game that came all the way down, like it was a walk off field goal. Like we we literally kicked the field goal to win the game with 2 seconds left. Like when we lined up to kick the field goal, it was only 2 seconds left. So it literally was a walk off game. But yet and still, it was one of the ugliest games, one of the most boringest games I've ever seen. Uh, I forgot what was the score at halftime. Was it halftime? Wasn't it? Was it 7-6 at halftime? The Texans lead at halftime. I think that's when, they scored a touchdown before halftime, if I'm not mistaken. But I remember saying that. Like I said it on Friday when I talked about the game. When I did the preview. Remember, it was a dog fight. Oh, it was 3-0 at halftime. Okay, it was a dog fight in the beginning. It was a dog fight. It was a dogfight the last time we played them because it was 6-0. Now the Texans at this situation, the Texans were up 6-0, but it was 6-0 going into the fourth quarter. And like I said, by that time, no team ever even reached the red zone, let alone maybe put points on the board. The Texans were luckily in that game we had Fairbairn, and we were able to kick some field goals. They would get some long field goals in, but it was a 6-0 game going into the fourth quarter. So I expected an ugly game. It was Davis Mills versus Cam Ward. I mean, like I told y'all the other day, like this is one of the worst. Actually not one of. It is statistically the worst offense from top to bottom. I mean, offensively, this Tennessee was 32nd in points, 32nd in total offense, 31st in passing, and 32nd in rushing offense. So statistically, it was the worst offense in the NFL. So I was expecting a very low scoring game, a very low scoring game. The defense basically did what the defense does. It was able to basically for the most part up until like the last drive. Where Cam Ward, I gotta give Cam Ward credit on that last drive. I think he drove all the way down from the 5, so 95-yard drive to be able to get a touchdown to tie it, to put some pressure on the Texans in their offense. But other than that, the defense did exactly what the defense needed to do. They was able to get sacks. They was able to get the Cam Ward, even got a forced fumble and stuff like that. Yeah, I seen that. I'm gonna talk about that in a little bit, minute too, about that game right there, because it makes things a little bit, I wouldn't say dicier, but it does change things. Like, I had a video talking about the playoff dynamic. If you haven't checked it out, make sure you go check that out, because it's still relevant, luckily, because the Texans won. But that's the main thing. The Texans were able to get the win today to keep their playoff hopes alive, to keep the like I said after we lost the Broncos, that you can't afford to lose any more games into the KC game. You can't lose any more games if you still want to get to the playoffs. If you want to get to the playoffs, you have to win these next couple of games. So the Texans finally got back to 500. The first time they've been 500 all season long. They haven't been 500 at any point of the season. The first time they've been 500 all season long. So good thing for them that they finally were able to be 500. Again, did it with Davis Mills, but like I said, they did it in a completely ugly fashion, a completely ugly, bad fashion. But let's get into the numbers. Like I said, Texans win the game 16-13. Davis Mills was 26 of 41 for 63.4 completion percentage, 274 yards and a touchdown. Woody Marks had 18 carries for 44 yards, averaging 2.4 yards a carry. Nico Collins was targeted 10 times, had 9 catches for 92 yards and a touchdown. I ain't gonna lie. When I looked at the numbers, I was surprised that Nico Collins didn't get 100 yards. You know, sometimes you watch a game and you see somebody had like 100 yards. You're like, man, they quietly got 100 yards. I can't believe they had 100 yards in this game. It don't feel like they had 100 yards. This is the opposite of that. I can't believe that Nico did not get 100 yards. I'm really like when I went to go look at the numbers, I really thought that Nico's gonna have about like 120, 130. Because it seems like every time he caught the football, it was a first down. Every time he caught the football, it was a 20-plus yard catch. So I really thought that Nico was gonna have, like I say, 120, 130. For him to have only 92 yards, I ain't gonna lie, from kind of makes it look somewhat pedestrian, because it was one of those games that he had like those 92 yards seemed bigger than what they actually were. Higgins, who I think this actually might have been, in my opinion, I know he had games where he had some touchdowns. I think this might have been Higgins' best game. Higgins was targeted 7 times, had 4 catches for 55 yards. I think this might have been Higgins' best game, because the catches that Higgins was making, he was actually going out there, plucking the football out the air. I feel like this might be his best game. Dalton Schultz was targeted 9 times, had 6 catches for 51 yards. Xavier Hutchinson was targeted 5 times, had 3 catches for 42 yards. And Jalen Noel only had 1 catch. Like, once again, Jalen Noel is an afterthought and not being utilized in this offense. On on the Tennessee side of football, Cam Ward had 24 completions off of 37 attempts for a completion percentage of 64.9, 194 yards and a touchdown, no interceptions. Ran the ball 3 times. He was their leading rusher. Ran the ball 3 times for 33 yards. They tight end caught the football. It was targeted 3 times, had 3 catches for 56 yards and a touchdown. And then Spears out of the backfield targeted 5 times, had 31. Targeted 5 times, had 5 catches for 31 yards. Daniil Hunter had a sack and a half. Will Anderson had a strip sack and a recovery. So on his stat line, it has a sack, a forced fumble, and fumble recovery. It's all the same play, but he forced the fumble, he recovered the fumble. So all in one play. But the Texans win the game 16-13, like I said, and they're just ugly, pedestrian, just an ugly pedestrian performance. And again, can't be too mad because, like I said, it was Davis Mills. It's that Davis Mills. Now, you need to go out there and get the win. You need to go out there and get the win. And this is also like the 3rd straight year. CJ's been in the field for 3 straight years. He's technically played in Tennessee, but have yet to play in Tennessee. Like last year, he technically, like the last game of the season, he had a drive right before right like him, um, Joe Mixon, Nico Collins. They was able to get their 1,000 yards, able to get 20 touchdowns on the opening drive, and then they didn't play no more the rest of the game. We already know his first game, his first season, missed that game also with the concussion. Missed this game with concussion. So I thought about that. I'm like, man, CJ has yet really to play Tennessee. He's played everybody else. He's played Jacksonville. He's played play Indy. He really barely plays in Tennessee. He very rarely plays in Tennessee. Well, actually has yet to play in Tennessee. Really, I know technically he has, but for real hasn't. The Texans, like I said, get to 500, 5-5. Also have evened up the rivalry between Houston and Tennessee. It's 24 up. So in the 48 matchups, we've played Houston. I mean, well, we played Tennessee and we played Jacksonville both 48 times. The Texans have the winning record against Jacksonville. Now, even if Houston would have lost last week, Houston still would have had the winning record against Jacksonville. I think Houston got like a 5-game lead on Jacksonville. So even if they would have lost last week, they still would have the lead against Jacksonville. They tied the career series rather. They tied the career series with Tennessee. So again, they don't even have that no more. Like Tennessee doesn't have that anymore, and they were really able to kind of like feast on some of that during while we were going through our rebuilding period after the Deshaun Watson era. They was able to try boast up a little bit because we would have actually been ended this. We would have been tied it, if not tied it, and also took the lead on it. Now the only one that we're behind is Indy, and actually Indy would be we played both Jacksonville and Tennessee twice this year. We have yet to play Indy. So that means that would be 46, 47. We played the 47 times because we also have an extra game against Indy. We have an extra game against Indy because we played the Indy in the playoffs and they beat us in the playoffs at that. So they actually not only do they have the career series against us. They also have the most important game because they came into our building in the playoffs and beat us in the postseason. So it's just, but that's a conversation. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it because we gotta play Indy in 2 weeks. So we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But the most important thing is the Texans on the season this year got to be 5-5. That's the most important thing to take away from this game because everything else from this game is pretty much what we already know. Like all that hype that y'all was hyping up Davis Mills could barely muster up a touchdown in this game. Like this game against a not good defense. Like Tennessee is one of the worst defenses in the NFL, just like they're the worst offense. I mean, this is a one-legged like this team is right now. The team last year got the number 1 overall pick. They're more likely going to have the number 1 overall pick again this season as well, unless some things actually just just happen for them. But scoring defense, they're 30th, allowing 28 points a game. Total defense, they're 25th. Now, pass defense, they are 17th. But rush defense, they're 27th. They're 27th in rush defense, and you were only able to get 40 yards, averaging 2 yards to carry against them. Like, you couldn't run the football against them. Like, especially in the red zone when you need to. Because, remember, we actually should have had a touchdown, or at the very least a field goal early on the game, but we went for them 4th down on the first drive. Also, what was the line of thinking of what was the line of thinking of winning the coin toss and then putting your offense out there? Like you don't have this dynamic offense. I mean, I guess my only thing is like you thought maybe if you can go ahead and put pressure on them, you could score first. Then maybe you could put them in a situation where you could pin your ears back and you go head hunting for the quarterback. Maybe, but as bad as this offense is, put this offense out there. Don't give your offense a extra possession in the first half. I mean, in the second half, not in the first half. Don't give your offense the extra possession. You like that. To me, I understand that line of thinking. I thought that was dumb. Now, if CJ was out there, it would have been a little bit different. Or if our offense, well, I mean, I guess technically our offense was clicking on all cylinders the last time this offense stepped on the field. And then the offense did, to that point, offense did drive down the field but then got stopped in the red zone. But they did move down the field pretty good that first drive, and then after that, it really, and then the touchdown drive with Nico, and then the final drive they were like so it was really like three drives. This offense was able to move really well. The opening drive, the drive that Nico scored a touchdown on, and then the last drive we got the game winning field goal. Those three drives were the drives that the offense was able to move the football good. They were able to move the football efficiently. Actually, they really moved the football real well in the first drive. Like that first drive, they actually did move the football pretty well. And like I said, that was when I first noticed. I think on the opening drive, I think Higgins had two of his four catches. And I said it then. I said, "Hey, Higgins already having his best game. Like the way that he was plucking the football out of the air, like the way he played, like the moves he was making, him almost getting in on the end zone, like him when he stepped on the 1 yard line, stepped down the 1 yard line, like that play right there. That was one of his, if that might have been his best play yet in the NFL. That was a good play. I understand touchdowns. I understand he scored. Well, I know he scored 3 touchdowns. Uh, his first 2 touchdowns, he was wide open. Last week, he actually had a good touchdown. Last week, his touchdown. Again, I'm not trying to like vilify him because you open the football thrown to you, you make the catch. But I'm just saying, as far as like the way it looks, the way the movement and things like that, the level of difficulty. That play when he caught it and was running and almost scored a touchdown, should have scored a touchdown, stepped out. That was a very good dynamic play, and that's something that we need out of him. Something that we need more out of Nico. Something we need out of Xavier Hutchinson. We starting to see that a little bit in Xavier Hutchinson. We seen the good day a catch and run, him able to catch the football and able to run and get yak after the catch, instead of just being just a big body possession receiver. Because that's what we've been seeing from Xavier Hutchinson for the past couple of years. That's what we've been seeing out of Hig for the past couple games. Now we're actually starting to see these guys actually make some actual plays, actually use the speed that they have, use the strength that they have, actually see them actually go out there and make plays for their quarterback. Because a lot of times receivers just got to make plays for your quarterback. You put the football up, the quarterback puts the football up in the air, you got to go out there, you got to make a play. Like they put the football up in there, you got to go out there and make the play. And what I seen out of Higgins today, I think that was a step in the right direction, and I was extremely impressed with what I seen out of him today. And I thought that this might be the best game he's played so far in the NFL. And as they gave another play here, another play there, I said, okay, yeah, this is definitely Higgins' best NFL game. He might not have 100 yards, he might not have a touchdown, but this is definitely his best game. Like this is definitely his best game. And who knows? Like again, this offense, I'm not going to say it works better with Davis Mills because you only put up 16 points against a bad Tennessee, a one win Tennessee team that does not have a good defense right now and is missing players. I'm not going to say that this offense works better with Davis Mills. I'm not going to say that. But I will say this. It's apparent that, and it's obvious that, and I said this during the preseason, that this offense is suited for a player like Davis Mills in the skill set. There's a reason why Nick Caserio drafted Davis Mills in the 3rd round. Remember, that was his first pick as that was his first pick as a Houston Texans general manager. It's the reason why he did that. Again, the whole Deshaun situation, we understand that drafting a quarterback, cool. The reason why he drafted a Davis Mills type quarterback. Same reason why in New England they drafted that same draft. Like it's the reason why over the years they drafted a Jimmy Garoppolo. Like it's a reason why they have a standard, and we know who the standard is, or who they want who they try to model their standard after. And it's it's a specific type of skill set. It's Tom Brady. It's 12. Now the thing is, none of these guys are 12. Ain't none of these guys TB12. Ain't none of them TB12. Ain't none of them gonna be close to TB12. Ain't nothing about it. Like there's nothing about it. But like that same type of build is what they're looking for. They're looking for all those metrics. And there's a reason why, because when they create these systems, this system, that's what they embody. That's what they envision their quarterback. Not somebody with a strong arm, not somebody that's mobile, Nick, and they can make plays on the run and things like that. Not somebody can improvise and things like that. That's not what they're looking for. They're looking for this specific. So, and I said this when we hired Nick Caley, before you hired Nick Caley, all that Sean McVay stuff that y'all was trying to add on to Nick Caley, I was like, that's not what it is. Yeah, he might have been with Sean McVay for the last 2 years. It's going to be a New England offense. It's going to be a Patriot style offense. And we up here 10 games in the season. Everybody knows that this is a New England style Patriot offense. We all know that. So because of that, that's why Davis Mills looks comfortable in it. Now, the lack of Davis Mills' skill set is the reason why it looks the way it looks as far as scoring wise, why you can only get 16 points and why you're not putting up 35 points and things like that. You're not getting 3-4 touchdowns. And again, I think last week that fourth quarter was a complete aberration. Again, I can't explain what happened. I still a week later, I still can't explain what happened in that fourth quarter against Jacksonville. However, I do think it was an aspiration. I don't think those are signs of things to come. But some people, y'all bought that stuff hook, line, and sinker. And y'all out here talking about Davis Mills need to be a starting quarterback like we ain't seen Davis Mills 2 years before we had CJ. Like we ain't see Davis Mills the first 3 quarters of said game last week. Like, to be honest, you ain't outside of 3 drives, you ain't seen Davis Mills today. Like we ain't see what's going on. So my thing is this. Davis Mills, I think, is like I've been saying since the moment we draft Davis Mills. He's a backup quarterback. Backup quarterback. A guy you can come in and put in for a couple drives in the game, and if maybe play a game or two. Maybe play a game or two. I think we've reached I think we're right there. We're flirting with the expiration date of this man football play. That I don't think that we can be. I don't think that we're gonna win too many more games if Davis Mills is the starting quarterback. Hey, shout out that boy Chris for super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. Texans are so trash. They they won't sneak into the playoffs. They will start to lose the next few games. Tennessee is the worst team in the league. I agree with that. How you feel about the Jags blowing out the Chargers? I'm not gonna say that. And shout out Chris for super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. Yeah, man, I want to know what happened in that game because when I went and looked at the numbers, I see that Travis Etienne he had 2 rushing touchdowns. Somebody else had a rush touchdown. Trevor Lawrence had a rush touchdown. So it wasn't even like a whole bunch of touchdowns. I didn't see a whole bunch of interceptions or fumble. I mean, I could be wrong. Maybe I just missed it. I looked over it. I didn't see if like maybe they had a whole bunch of turnovers. But I mean, with 30 was it 35-6? Like Jacksonville won 35-6. Now that kind of what I talked about in the video when I talked about the Texans playoff chances. And like I said, what I told you about going into this week, the percentage chances of the Texans had a 23% chance of making the playoffs, but only a 4.6% chance of winning the AFC South. But the thing was, again, that's mostly based off of your current record, the team, how many teams are in front of you, what their record is, and then how many games to go. But it doesn't take into account who those teams in front of you play and who you play. Because in the wild card, The teams that are in front of you are the Chargers, Buffalo, Jacksonville. They have the wild card spots. And on the outside looking into the playoffs is the Chiefs and then us. That's how the standings look. The Texans play the Chargers, Buffalo, and the Chiefs. Coming into this week, they were only a game behind the Chiefs. Chiefs got 5 wins, Texans had 4 wins. Texans won, so Texans got 5 wins now. Chiefs are playing right now. I think they're playing Denver. If the Chiefs beat Denver, which more than likely it can, if the Chiefs beat Denver, it's a game back. But the Texans play the Chiefs in 3 weeks so they can handle their business. But also, they're playing at Denver right now. And Denver, what? 8-2? Denver could beat the Chiefs. Now the Texans and the Chiefs are both 5-5. And again, the Texans still have to play the Chiefs. Chargers. The Chargers lost today, like you just mentioned. Now they beat the Jacksonville beat them. So now Jacksonville now has 6 wins. But now the Chargers have 4 losses. So the Chargers have 1. So now, right now, the Chargers have 1 less loss than Houston. And Houston faces the Chargers towards the end of the season. So as long as they stay in that same realm, that arm's length of a game, Houston beats the Chargers, they now have the tiebreaker against them. Yeah, I said the Chiefs. I said Chiefs are 5-4. Yeah, Chiefs are 5-4. I said if the Chiefs lose, they'll be 5-5. If the Chiefs lose, if they beat Denver, they'll be 6-4. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, I know that they're 5. I know they're 5-4. Now the Bills. Last time I checked, the Bills was beating Tampa Bay. Is that final? I'm pretty sure it's final. I've been here for a minute. I'm pretty sure that game is final. So I'm pretty sure the Bills have beaten Tampa Bay, and that will make them 7-4. I mean, that make them 7-3. That make them 7-3. So Houston can beat Buffalo, but still be a game behind Buffalo because that will give them they will have 7 wins. And again, like right now, Jacksonville is a game above. Jacksonville is a game above Houston with 6 wins, and I mean they actually got an easy schedule for the next couple weeks. Like they at Arizona, at Tennessee, they could definitely win both those games. Indy is the game. They host Indy. And that's right after Indy plays us. So, and also Indy's on a bye week this week. Indy's at KC, host us at Jacksonville, at Seattle. Like it's these next 7 games are going to be extremely crucial across the board for all these players. Like it's definitely the thick of it. It's definitely the thick of the playoffs. It's definitely people palms getting sweaty. It's definitely that time. It's definitely that time. It's completely that time. Like this is definitely the time right now. Like I said, with people palms starting to get sweaty, because you're going to get a lot of these teams to lose. A lot of these teams are going to lose. So the playoff picture is going to be able to be a little bit more clear. A little bit more clear. But the thing is, the Texans got to handle their business. Because the Texans walk away with losses, it doesn't matter. And we'll see. Because they tried to tell you on the telecast today that it's not official and don't be expecting CJ to play Thursday against Buffalo. I understand, it's the whole concussion protocol, and he has to pass protocols to actually be clear. It's not just like, okay, cool. It's not just, okay, cool. I feel like it's a go, or I'm going to tough it out. Even though I'm feeling a little bit, I'm going to tough it out. No, it's certain things that he has to pass. Like, reacting to light, reacting to sounds, it's certain things, and those things are not like, oh, you just faking the funk, because sometimes it's just they put the light on you, and it's the way you react to that light. That you can't fake that. You can't fake that. It's a natural reaction. It's not like, oh yeah, I feel good. I feel good, Doc. I'm good. I'm cool. I'm good. Yeah, it's not like that. It's not like anything else. When it comes to concussion, the way that they got the way that they have this whole concussion protocol, because they claim to try and protect the players. If they were trying to protect the players, they wouldn't do some of the things that they do, like Thursday night football or have Wednesday football during the holidays and stuff like that. Like, it's certain things that they would not do. Um, it's certain things they would. It's certain things they would not do if they really want to protect players. Because if you want to do Thursday night football, you make sure that everybody has a bye. That the teams that play on Thursday, that they have a bye week the week before. So they would play on Sunday, have a whole bye week, and then play on Thursday. Like, that's what you would do if you really want to protect players. But that's a conversation for another day. But the thing is, like, you can't react you can't react to like lights the way that like like the certain way like lights or sounds or well, all these different type of things that they gotta pass to be able to clear concussion protocol. And everybody's different. Yes, Tyus Howard Tyus Howard only missed the game, got concussed the same day as CJ. Same thing with Nico Collins. Nico Collins only missed one game. I think he missed the 49ers game. That's the game he missed with during the concussion protocol. CJ has missed 2 games already, and then he has to clear this concussion protocol, I think, because you also play on Thursday. Now, maybe if the game was on next Sunday, he'll probably have a better. Obviously would be a better chance to clear concussion protocol, because he would have, I think, till Friday to clear it. I don't know when he will be able to clear it. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't know when the deadline is. If it's Tuesday, if it's Wednesday. Luckily, the game is in Houston. It's not in Buffalo, so maybe he can clear it Wednesday and still be able to practice. That's nothing too. Like, you got to clear it and then be able to practice, or you just not gonna, or your quarterback's just not gonna practice. So there's a lot of different things. So I understood what that guy was saying. I do think that CJ is going to play on Thursday. I think he's going to clear concussion protocol. To be honest, I think he more than likely has to be 2 full practices. Yeah, okay. I think he's already. I actually think he's already cleared concussion protocol. He just hasn't. He just didn't clear it by. I think he's already cleared concussion protocol. He just didn't clear it by today. You feel what I'm saying? Like I said, I think you had to clear the concussion protocol, I think, by Friday to play today. So I don't think he cleared it Friday, but he might have cleared it yesterday or cleared today. And he just didn't clear it in enough time to play today's game. But I think he's already, as of right now, it's clear he'd be able to go ahead on Thursday. So I expect him to play Thursday against Buffalo. And shout out to the boy Chris once again for Super Chat love. Definitely appreciate that. Be honest, Houston ain't beating Bills, Chiefs, and Indy. I think Buffalo once again is one of them teams that just have a bad defense. Like the Texans, actually, I feel like all the good teams, as far as the teams that we think of to be good teams, like, the coming into the season, like the Ravens, the Chiefs, the Bills, and things like that. Those teams have bad defenses, and they have defenses that you can definitely make plays on. Like the teams like the Denver Broncos and and also the 49ers, they was another team too. They have bad defense, they also had injuries. But teams like Seattle and those teams have better defense. Jacksonville actually came into last week with a better defense as well, statistically. So I think that the Texans will be able to make some plays on that Buffalo Bills defense. I think that I know that Tampa running back had like 3 touchdowns. I'm mad that I ain't starting in my fantasy league. I had him on my bench, but I didn't start him, and I'm mad that I didn't start him. No, I'm mad I didn't start him because he had like 3 touchdowns. So I think that the Texans can go out there and beat Buffalo. I picked the Texans to beat Buffalo going into the season. I think the Texans have a better chance of beating both Buffalo and Indy than they do KC. I think the Texans are going to lose to KC. as of right now. That's why I've been saying since that Bronco game that the Texans cannot afford another loss this season until KC. I've been saying that. And I said the Texans to win the division, they gotta go 7-1. They have, and the only loss that they can really have is the only loss they can really have is that KC loss. And watching what I seen out of not Jacksonville, but I guess technically Jacksonville, but out of the Chargers, and seeing what happened with the Chargers earlier this year to Indy, like the Chargers are the most up and down inconsistent team in this NFL. And that actually goes off the books, and that goes on the trending report, the scouting report. When you look at Justin Herbert, because that was a scouting report coming out of Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert had a lot of talent, has a lot of talent, but completely inconsistent. He go out there and throw you 400 yards and 4 touchdowns one game, and in the next game have 110 yards, no touchdowns, a pick and a fumble. Like that's what Justin Herbert does. He's completely inconsistent. He go out there have an incredible game. His high games are one of the best games in the NFL. That's the reason why he threw for 5,000 yards. His second in the league. Like that's the reason why people keep on putting him as a top 5 quarterback, because his highs are completely high. His great games, his great performances are magnificent, but his bad performances are just as bad. And you have a lot of players like a Trevor Lawrence that don't even have those type of highs. They just have those type of bads. And their highs is mediocre, but they don't even have those type of highs. And not to mention he doesn't win playoff games. But so I think the Texans own it. Well, I think it's going to end up being a Saturday night game, which is probably going to be a game that might be a somewhat elimination game too. Who did the Chargers play last game of the season? They played Denver last game of the season. The Chargers schedule is they're on the bye week this week. They got Vegas, Philly, at KC, at Dallas, home Houston, at Denver. They got a bye week in Vegas. They got a bye week, then they have Vegas. What I say the schedule is they're 7-3. They're 7-4 now because they lost to Jacksonville. So they're 7-4. Have a bye week. I say they'll beat Vegas. That makes them 8-4. Philly, KC, Dallas. They losing 3. They losing 2 of those 3 games. That gives them, puts them what, 9-6. That puts them at 9-6 with the last 2 games hosting Houston at Denver. I think that's what I think they're going to be. I think they're going to be 9-6 going into that game. In Houston, we 5-5. Buffalo, Indy, KC, Arizona, Vegas. Arizona, Vegas, they give you 7. So Buffalo, Indy, KC, you win one of those games, they get you 8. That puts you a game behind them going into that last game of the season. Going to that last, that puts you at one game behind the Chargers. It puts you one game behind them. Like I said, this playoff picture is definitely rounding into form. I said now Jacksonville had a big test today as far as getting out of that game. Like I said, they got Arizona and Tennessee the next 2 weeks, and then it's host Indy at the host the Jets, and then it's at Denver, at Indy, and then hosting Tennessee. So yeah, them being the Chargers actually is a good, because like I said, I think they're gonna win the next 2 games against Arizona and Tennessee. So that gives them 7 wins. I think they're gonna beat the Jets. That gives them 9 wins. Jacksonville might have 10 wins because they're gonna beat Arizona, beat Tennessee, beat the Jets. and then beat Tennessee the last game of the season, they give them 10 wins. And they play Indy twice. If they split against Indy, they give them 11 wins. Now again, it's Jacksonville. Jacksonville could definitely lose to Arizona. And Jacksonville, I don't think they lose to Tennessee. I mean, they could lose to the Jets, but I don't think they'll lose to the Jets. I mean, Arizona, I think, is a game. I mean, it's at Arizona, so they could lose to Arizona. Man, Jacksonville might win 11 games. Dang, them beating the Chargers really, really threw a monkey wrench. Could it be Indy, Jacksonville, and Houston in the playoffs? Remember the Chargers are the Chargers. Jacksonville has the tiebreaker against the Chiefs. The Bills had a tiebreaker against the Chiefs. As of right now, the Chargers have the tiebreaker against the Chiefs. Wow. Wow. It can get man, it's about to get real dicey. Boy. Boy, it's about to get real dicey. These last 7 games is about to be very interesting. Very interesting. Like very interesting. It's about to get real dicey around here. Like for real. Man. But like I said, Texas able to take care of business today, able to get a win that they had to. You couldn't afford to lose this game to Tennessee. They 5-5. Hey, I got shout out what's his name? Shout out Young Prince. Cause if you part of Discord, everybody part of Discord, shout out everybody in the Discord. But Young Prince, because Young Prince said this going into the bye week. Either going to the bye week or right after, or maybe it might have been after we lost to Seattle. It might have been right after the Seattle game. He said that we were going to be 5-5 Thursday night against the Buffalo Bills. That's what he said. He said that we were going to be 5-5 going against the Buffalo Bills. And I was saying that I didn't want to be 5-5. I mean, 5-5, we still had a chance. We still had a chance because you still had Buffalo, KC in front of you, both Indy games. But I wanted to be at least have a better win. So I was hoping that we would beat the Broncos. We should have beat the Broncos again. CJ doesn't get concussion. CJ don't get concussion. I think we win these next. I thought we would win these 3 games and we would be sitting up here at 6-4 instead of 5-5, and we would be in a better situation. I actually probably be sitting up here already in the playoffs. We probably had the last playoff spot, honestly, because we would have a better divisional record than Jacksonville. Because we had 3 division wins and Jacksonville only has 1 division win. Because Jacksonville's only played us. Jacksonville still hasn't played Tennessee or Indy yet. So off of the technicality, we would have a better divisional record because we would have played more division games and got those wins. So we would be sitting up here in that 7th spot because Jacksonville, as long as they got the same record as KC, they pushing KC out because they got the tiebreaker because they beat them head to head. So, but shout out to Young Prince because Young Prince said that we were gonna be 5-5 going to the Buffalo Bills game, and here we are. Thursday night football, Buffalo Bills tied at 5. We're 5-5. They are 7-3, if I'm not mistaken. Because no one stuff can confirm if they won that game. I haven't seen anybody say they won. No, they lost. So I'm assuming that they won because last time I checked, they was up I think like 40-32 or something like that. So like I said, the Texans going into that game, hosting that game. CJ Stroud got to be back. If CJ Stroud is not playing in that game, we're not beating the Buffalo Bills. CJ Stroud is playing that game, it's not guaranteed that we're going to beat the Buffalo Bills, but we obviously have a better shot because I'm not buying into any of that hype about Davis Mills and people talking about Davis Mills should be the starting quarterback and Davis Mills plays better than CJ and Davis Mills hasn't had a game like that. I'm not buying into none of that at all. Not at all. But the defense, though, the defense does what it does. I mean, the defense was able to stop a bad Tennessee team. You seen Will after Daniil Hunter being quiet for like a 5 game stretch in the season. He had 3.5 sacks last week, ended up being defensive player of the week. Came and gave you another sack and a half today. So what? That's 5 sacks in 2 games. 5 sacks, 2 games. Will Anderson gave you a sack fumble last week. Gave you another sack fumble this week with the fumble recovery. So both of those guys are starting. Both of those guys are paying off dividends of the Neil Hunter's contract, Will Anderson jumping up to get them third pick in the draft. So those things are starting to pay off, and the defense is having dominant performances. Like I said, the defense is doing it on all different type of facets. They could get you a game where they turn you over a whole bunch of times. They have games where they get a whole bunch of sacks like we seen last week, or a game like we seen against the 49ers where they just stop you. Just hat on hat, man on man, they just stopping you. Just completely stop you. We have the current longest streak in the NFL with a sack and a turnover. I think what I said up to 8 games now. 8 games this season. 8 games in a row rather. A sack and a turnover. So that has to be from the Jacksonville game because we didn't get a turnover in the Tampa game. So yeah. So from the Jacksonville game on, we've gotten at least a sack and a turnover in every game since week 3. So again, longest streak in the NFL. The defense right now is playing all cylinders. The defense is doing their job again. Number 1 defense across the board. Number 1 scoring defense. Number 1 total defense. Their worst is pass defense at 4. It's the worst they are in a defensive category. They're 4th in pass defense. Rushing defense, they're 2nd. Again, it took Cam Ward to run 33 yards. Their leading rusher was Cam Ward today with 33 yards. Now, again, our leading rusher was Willie Marks with 44, only averaging 4.2 yards a carry. And remember, we didn't trade for Brees Hall. Maybe because our franchise running back is out there running in Notre Dame right now. Our franchise running back is trying to get into the college football playoffs for the Fighting Irish right now. It's probably where our number 1, where our future franchise running back is doing right now. He plays on Saturdays, trying to get into the college football playoffs with Notre Dame. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Just saying. But no, like I said, but defensively, the defense has been doing their job and been completely out there keeping you in games. I mean, they kept you in the Seattle game. They kept you in last week games. That's part of the reason you don't come back in that game last week if you don't hold Jacksonville to only 2 yards in the fourth quarter. Like so, again, the points that they get this week was because you giving them short fields and punt returns and things like that. I think that's exactly what's gonna happen. I think we're gonna beat. I think we'll beat Buffalo. I think we beat Indy. I don't think, as of right now, I don't think we'll beat Tennessee. I mean, as of right now, I don't think we beat KC. Hope we can beat KC. I don't think we'll beat KC, but we'll see. We'll see that game. Like these next 3 games, I said that into the bye week. I said the next 4 games is the most important 4-game stretch of the season. The Jacksonville game is the most important game of the season. I also said that Tennessee game, and then you have an important 3-game stretch. That's the reason why the other one was a 4-game stretch when you had Seattle, 49ers, Denver, and Jacksonville. The reason why, because of the defenses that those three teams presented you in Seattle and 49ers, both of those defenses, the people who run those defenses have given CJ fits with either the Baltimore Ravens or with the Jets in previous years. That's why the Denver game, because the Denver was just a good defense. The Denver defense was a good defense and they're a good team. In Jacksonville, because they've already beaten you and you couldn't afford. That was the one game that you could not afford to lose because they've already beaten you. This one is off a brand name, the Bills, the Indy, because of their record, they're standing in the division, in KC, but also because of level of opponent. Because of a level of opponent. And also where you're playing them at. Yeah, you hosting the Bills on Thursday Night Football, but then you at Indy and then you at KC on Sunday Night Football. So the next three games, you're going to be on prime time 2 out of the next 3 games. 2 of the next 3 games are on the road. 2 of them are prime time. 2 of them on the road. One's a division opponent that is currently tied for the number 1 seed in the NFL. That's your next 3 games. That's the Texans' next 3 games. It's going to be an extremely important 3-game stretch for these next 3 games. Extremely important. And shout out that boy Christopher Super Chat Love. Definitely appreciate that. What if you lose to the Bills? Then what? Then you start preparing for the draft because then you're running out of games. Because okay, if you lose the Buffalo, but no, I mean, this is the thing. If you lose the Buffalo, then you have to win out. Because like I said, the Texans in these final 7 games had to go 7-1. But the thing is, they had to go 7-1 to win. They had to go 7-1 to win the division. They had to go 6-2 to make the playoffs. The kicker is that 1 and 2 losses cannot have been against Tennessee or Indy. Now, you can afford to lose one of KC, Buffalo, and the Chargers. One of them. So if you lose to Buffalo, you can't lose to the Chargers, you can't lose to KC. If you beat the Bills, if you lose to KC, you can't lose to the Chargers. And if you beat Buffalo, beat Indy, and beat KC, now you sitting up there again. I don't advise the wiggle room, but you have wiggle room because I think you need 10 wins to win. I think you need 10 wins to get into the playoffs, 11 wins to win the division. We at 5 right now, 7 games left. So 5 more wins get you 10. 6 more wins get you 11. And 7 more wins get you 12 if you win out. So you have to win at least 10. So it means you can only afford to lose 2 games down the 7-game stretch. But it also depends on who you lose to. It kind of changes who you have the ability to lose to in the future. It makes if you lose to this team, you can't lose to this team right here. It balances itself out. And shout out once again, Christopher Super Chat Love. Definitely appreciate that. Indy will let you have the last game for free. The thing is, that is very, 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 very possible. Very, very possible. Unless we win the first game. Then Indy can't afford their last game. I mean, unless Indy doesn't lose any other games. I mean, unless Indy beats KC, beats Jacksonville, beats San Francisco, beats Seattle, and beats Jacksonville again, and they don't need those 2 games, and then they only gives them 4 losses. But I don't think Indy beats KC next week. So that puts Indy at 3 losses. I think the Texans and Indy. I actually think that Indy's offense matches up poorly against the Texans defense. I think the Texans defense are actually kind of built and not on purpose. But I think the Texans defense is built to stop Indy's offense. So it's going to come to the fact of Indy's defense and if Houston's offense can show up in that game and give them something. Because Houston's offense can show up in that game and give them something. Indy's not going to. I think Houston beats Indy, and then I think Indy beats Jacksonville, and then I think it's really going to come down to that game against Seattle, and that's going to set the tone for the last 3 games of the season. So I think Indy beats. I think Indy loses to KC, loses to Houston, beats Jacksonville. That Seattle game, because that Seattle game, I think Indy loses that Seattle game, but it sets that tone because then now we're talking about Indy having 5 losses. They lose to KC, lose to us, lose to Seattle, beat Jacksonville. They got 5 losses with 3 games left to go in the season. That means their last game of the season, like I said the other day, go check out that video if you haven't checked that out already. I said will be a Sunday night football game for the AFC South. That's why I think will end up happening. If the Texans, the thing is, this is all if the Texans take care of their business. Because to be honest, I'm not concerned about the other teams positioning. It's all about the Texans, in my opinion. If the Texans, because the Texans can easily fall flat on their face and lose to Buffalo on Thursday, and lose to the KC on Sunday night, and lose to the Chargers on whatever that game is, and all this is for naught. Just those 3 losses by itself gives the Texans 8 losses. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a done data. It's over. Just off those 3 losses right there. Forget the Indy game, the Arizona and Vegas. If they lose to Buffalo on Thursday, lose to KC 2 weeks from now, and then also lose to the Chargers in the second last game of the season, that's it. It's a wrap. The season's over. It's like you don't. It don't matter what you do. It don't matter if you sweep Indy. It don't matter. You have 8 losses. It's over. So it's more to do with what Houston does. Now I ain't gonna lie, Jacksonville made it I ain't gonna lie, Jacksonville's win the day made it dicier. Jacksonville's win the day made it dicier to the fact of now I need Indy on the cool to sweep Jacksonville because like I said, Jacksonville has Arizona, Tennessee, the Jets, and Tennessee again. That gives them that right there. Arizona, Tennessee, Jacksonville. Arizona, Tennessee, the Jets, Tennessee again. That right there give them 10 wins. That gives them 10 wins. That's even with them getting swept. That's even with them getting swept. That gives them 10 wins. Even if they get swept by Indy. That gives them 10 wins because I really thought the Chargers was going to beat Jacksonville. So Jacksonville beating the Chargers threw a complete monkey wrench in that. And now we need Jacksonville to lose some games. But the thing is though, if they lose to Indy, they get swept Indy, we have the tiebreaker against them because we have a bad divisional record. We will. Because we only have one. Right now we both only have one division loss, and it's against each other. So if they lose to Indy, if they get swept by Indy, and we sweep Indy, that gives them 2 losses against. That gives them. That gives them 2 divisional losses. 3 divisional losses, and we only have 1 divisional loss if we sweep Indy. So because that make us 5-1 in the division. Because we are right now we're 3-1 in the division. We sweep Indy, we 5-1 division. They'll be 3-3 in the division, so we have a better divisional record. So that actually does benefit us. So like I said, we would need Indy to sweep Jacksonville now because Jacksonville lost the game. I mean, won the game today. If Jacksonville would have lost today, like I thought they would have, then the best thing would have been Jacksonville and Indy splitting because they give both each other a loss. But now you kind of root that you want Indy to beat Jacksonville. Even though Indy has, because thing is, Indy has tougher games, unlike Jacksonville. Like Jacksonville, toughest game that's not Indianapolis is Denver, while Indy still has KC, us twice, and Seattle. So we can give Indy the amount of losses. Plus, they have Seattle and KC and San Francisco. They also get some more losses. So I know it's very all over the place. I understand. I get it. I understand. It's very all over the place. All over the place. But yeah, like I said, Jacksonville getting them win today definitely threw a complete monkey wrench into the Texans playoff situation to now we need Indy to sweep them. So they almost lost. Who almost lost? Because the score I seen was 35-6. So how they almost lose? Oh, Texas. Oh yeah, Texas. Yeah, I got you. I got you. I got you. I'm about to say who almost lost. I'm about to say who almost lost. But yeah, but yeah. So it is what it is. I don't know. It's crazy though, but like I said, this is a very very like these next couple weeks. Well, next 7 games is going to be very very interesting. Like very very interesting. Like very 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 interesting. Shout out Chris for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. Why do you think y'all? Why do you think y'all can beat Indy when y'all sneaking wins against Tennessee, bro? You tripping? Texans ain't like that. Shout out Chris for super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. I just said it. I said that Indy's offense actually matches up bad against the Texans defense. This actually the Texans defense match up very well against Indy's offense. It does, like it does. I know Indy's had this offense performance where they went like with 5 games where they ain't punt the football. They cut their punter. They ain't need no punter because they was out there scoring all these points and things like that. I get it. I understand that. I understand the record wise. The Indies is 8-2. Houston is 4. Houston it was 4-5 coming to the week. Now they 5-5. I get it. The Texas offense is trash. That's the key. That's the key. If the Texans offense can give you anything. And we seen CJ against bad offense. Against bad this year, at the very least, against a bad offense, CJ plays well. Look at the Ravens. Look at San Francisco. Like against bad defenses, CJ plays well against bad defenses. I mean, he had 3 touchdowns. Against Tennessee the first time. Again, I say that it was a dogfight into that fourth quarter, and it was a struggle fest into that fourth quarter. But against a bad defense, and Indy's defense ain't good. That's the reason why y'all went out there and traded for Sauce Gardner. Like Indy's defense is not a good defense. Because how y'all went out there and y'all traded for Sauce Gardner, it right there shows you how how not good y'all defense really is. So I do think that again, it's not guaranteed. I'm not guaranteed, but I definitely think it's capable. I'm not looking at just the record like, oh, Indy record is this and Houston record is that. Boom. Like so that's very surface level. If you only look at what a team record is versus another team record, and be like, oh, they gonna win just based off a record. It's very surface level. It's very surface level, especially in the NFL, because NFL is off of matchups. NFL teams match up. Sometimes bad teams match up good against good teams because of the strengths of this bad team is the weakness of this other team, and vice versa. And because of that, that's how you have upsets. So you have upsets because it's upset based off of the record. It's not upset based off of the matchup. And sometimes you do get upset based off of a matchup. Sometimes somebody matched up very well against somebody and they went out there and they completely they completely just squandered it and just completely just played bad. Somebody played completely out of their mind and played sensational. Prime example, last year, Houston versus Tennessee. Houston matched up very well against Tennessee, extremely well against Tennessee. But Will Levis came down here and played out of his mind, was throwing the football. But again, he did capitalize on big plays, something that the Texas defense does have a weakness of. You see it again today. Still, defense give up big plays, and that's the one thing you have that against with JT. But the thing is, if you're able to stop JT, if Houston can stop JT, like Pittsburgh stopped JT, because JT only had like 50 yards against Pittsburgh, then Indiana Jones, which I want to call him, he turned the football over 5 times. Should have had 6. He threw 3 interceptions, lost 2 fumbles. He fumbled 3 times, but only lost 2 of them. So we're not gonna sit up here and act like that, we don't sit up here and act like that we ain't see that type of play out of Daniel Jones. It's the exact same thing that happened when he was with the Giants. When Saquon was balling, the year they went to the playoffs, Saquon was balling. Saquon was the straw that stirred their drink. And played Daniel Jones, Danny Dimes, Indiana Jones, whatever y'all want to call them, played well. They went to the playoffs. They went on the road. They beat Minnesota because of that. It's the exact same thing. JT is the best, as of right now, JT is the best running back in the league as playing right now. JT's been playing out of his mind. JT's been an absolute monster. I'm not taking nothing away from JT. JT's been playing absolutely phenomenal. And that is the reason why Indy is sitting up here at 8-2. Is because of what Jonathan Taylor's doing. Not because of Indiana Jones. He gonna get the credit because he's a quarterback. But we all know, if you watch the games, I know you an Indy fan, so I know you're watching the games. You're looking at the games. You checking it out. Checking it out. Checking it out. You checking out all the games. So I know you know. That what's going on. JT is the straw that stirs their drink. You stop Jonathan Taylor? Daniel Jones is a deer in headlights. And he's going to make mistakes. He's going to make mistakes. So, again, and that's tweeting where, like, we got Houston, we got to worry about Buffalo, because we lose to Buffalo, we have a completely different story come Thursday if we lose to Buffalo. So we got to worry we got to worry about Buffalo and handle Buffalo now. Luckily for me, the Texans play on Thursday in Buffalo. I ain't got to worry about Tech because Tech got a bye week this week, so I ain't got. So after Thursday, after the game on Thursday, my weekend is my weekend of watching games is I ain't got no pressure. Ain't no pressure. Ain't no ain't no pressure. I ain't gotta sit there like, man, I gotta worry about what Tech gonna do. I gotta worry about what the Tech's gonna do. I ain't got no pressure. I can watch other games relieved of pressure. I can just sit back as a football fan, just be watching games all freely. Ain't gotta worry about none of that. So That's the one thing. Good thing about Texans playing on Thursday night. They get that game out the way. Get this Texan Bills game out of the way. Get it out of the way. Um, no, it's not true. We beat Dallas last year on Monday Night Football in late November. Yeah, that was in late November. Cause that was what week was that? Cause that was the week after that was the week after the Lions game. Cause we had like we had like three primetime games in the week. We had a Thursday night game, Sunday night game, and a Monday night game. Like 3 games in a week. Like three weeks in a row we was on prime time. So that's what I'm saying. Like in the like so what it was last year we won the second game of the week was on Sunday Night Football. We won that game, and then we didn't have a prime time game again until Thursday night. We lost to the Jets. Then Sunday night game we had Buffalo. I mean not Buffalo. We had Detroit. We lost that game. Should have won that game, but we lost that game. And then we blew out Dallas on Monday Night Football. So it was like what was that like November 17th or something like that? Something like that. November 17th. So we like I said, so we just won them. Just one. I mean, it was a year ago. Yeah, I mean, we've only had what 2 primetime games this season so far. Yeah, we only 2 primetime games this season, and it was Monday night against Seattle, Monday night again. Both of them was Monday night. Monday night against Seattle, Monday night against Tampa Bay. And we got both our Monday night games out the way, and then we got a Thursday night, and then we got a Sunday night. So So we'll see. But hey, man, appreciate everybody that came through here, man. If you ain't hit the like button already, man, make sure you hit the like button. If you ain't hit the like button, I'm gonna give you some time. Make sure you hit the like button. Go ahead and hit that like button right now. All right, man. Appreciate everybody that came through here, man. If you ain't hit the like button already, man, make sure you hit the like button. Go ahead, hit the like button. If you hit the like button already, man, make sure you go hit the like button. Go hit the like button right now. All right, man. Appreciate everybody that came through here, man. Appreciate all the love, man. Appreciate the Chris for super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. You know, he up here talking about the Texans and always talk about Indy. You always want to bring up what Indy's doing. But shout out Chris for the super chat love. Definitely appreciate that. Y'all know how much that means to me every time you hit the super chat love. Definitely appreciate it. Definitely appreciate that. Now, again, Thursday night football, Houston versus the Bills. A huge game. Huge game. Playoff implications, everything's on the line. Buffalo's right in front of you in the playoff standings, so you have to beat them to put yourself in a better position. Jacksonville won today, so these are wins that we have to have. These are wins that we can't afford. And then, like Scott just said earlier, when the last time we won on prime time, like I said, it was last year, Monday Night Football against Dallas. So we need to get back on some wins on the prime time stage. They keep giving us prime time games. They gave us, what, 4 last year, 5 last year? Yeah, 4 last year, gave us 4 this year. We're 0-2 so far. We got to reward them. We got to get some wins on prime time at home. I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be Battle Red Day. So it's going to be all red. So Battle Red Day. Yeah, I know y'all get hyped up about that Battle Red and stuff like that. So, hey, man, you say you're going to be there, be loud. Be there, be loud. And, hey, we got to go out there and we got to get this done so we can be back in position for the playoffs. We beat Buffalo. We're 6-5. Hey, we're first time above 500 all year, and we're in prime position because other teams in front of us, we playing them. We're in prime position, and we're in prime position to go out there and make some hayway for the playoffs, man. Like, subscribe, if you haven't, comment below. If you haven't, click that bell, get more videos. I holla.